Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you guys a walkthrough on my Ranger Comanche. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and jump on into it right from the front here. So, start off, we've got a 36 volt motor guide trolling motor on there. And I think it's 112 pound thrust. A buddy of mine actually gave that to me for free, so pretty fortunate for that. And this is actually the first year I've been running that trolling motor, so this is actually the first day I've been running that trolling motor. Next up, we've got a Humminbird Helix 7 right here. So I've got side scan, down imaging, and GPS on here. I don't really use the side scan very much. It's usually just regular sonar and GPS that I use. And this actually has Auto Chart Live on it, so I do use that a lot. Moving back a little bit. So it's actually the original little control panel. I don't have it screwed in right now because I was messing around inside there. But we've got our light controls and our trim up and down. Those don't really work, but I don't really have any need to use those, so I'm not trying to figure those out. There's a little light right here too. I don't know, this is a cool little board though. I think it looks pretty sweet. Moving on, I actually just redid all the carpet in here last fall, so because of that, I haven't gotten around to mounting the foot pedal down, and I'm also planning on getting a recessed foot pedal, so I just haven't gotten to that yet. There's also a little paddle still hole right there I haven't gotten to. That's another thing I gotta get to, not a big deal. Moving on, we've got our first compartment. Let's see if we can open that big boy up. So this actually used to be where I stored my tackle, but the bottom you can see is kind of like it V's with the hull. So it's not the actual hull right there, but it V's with it. So it's kind of weird storing tackle in there. So I just threw a few life jackets in there. That's actually my old charger that I think came with the boat. It's pretty cool, but I kept that just in case I might need it in the future or something. Besides that, I've got my rain gear in here. Got some Sims gloves, some waders, and that's actually my pedestal right there for my seat. It seems like it'd be a good spot for a tackle locker, but it's just kind of awkward with that V bottom right there. And that was actually a big reason to why I decided to redo the lids. As you can see, this is actually some wood that I screwed in here last year. I actually cut out the old compartments and I redid them with wood. That being said, I kind of messed up and I didn't treat the wood. I didn't use treated wood, and as you'll see here when I open it up, it's getting moldy. So I'm gonna have to clean that off and put some lacquer on it, hopefully survive a little bit longer than it would if I didn't do anything to it. That being said, this actually worked out really well. It stores my tackle boxes in here perfectly. I've got just a few brand new things that I threw in there down there. And you can see I've got all my boxes nice and neat down there. Moving on, we've got the next compartment on the other side of the boat over here. This one's actually a lot worse than the other one in terms of mold. And all I have in there right now is, that's actually foam that I used to put under this new carpet that I got. And there's actually that layer of foam beneath this, so it's a lot easier to stand on, a lot nicer when you're spending those long days out in the water. This is actually, this compartment right here is actually a rod locker, but it was made in the 80s, so all they really had was 6-foot rods, and that's all I can really fit is a 6-foot rod, 6'6". And I've only have one rod that short, so I don't even use it. Anyway, moving on to the console back here. Alright, so we've got our Helix 7 mount right here at the console. The reason why I have one right here is because somebody actually stole my old Helix 7, and I ended up buying that other one to replace it. And so I had an extra mount laying around, so I mounted it back here at the console. I figured it'd be nicer to side scan back here at the console, and I actually haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to mount the transducer on the hull in the back, and then just wire it up to this baby and be able to side scan with my motor instead of side scanning around with my trolling motor like I usually do. Obviously not ideal only having one sonar, but I'm planning on getting one in the future. I haven't spent a ton of money on this boat. I actually got a super good deal on it, and because of that I'm not trying to spend a lot more money than I have to be able to get the use out of it as I'd like. Moving on, we've got our gauges up here. We've got a speedometer. It doesn't work. I have gotten that to work before, but I don't use it, so I don't really care. And I could just use the speed on my sonar if I wanted to. And I've got our RPMs, which also is not hooked up, and I don't really have any use for it anyway. Got our fuel gauge. Check how much fuel you have, not powered on right now. We've got our timer for our aerators. Most of these switches don't work, and most of them I don't need to use, but we've got our aerators, which does work. I need that for tournament fishing. And I actually didn't know if both those work, but both port and starboard work, so that's cool. We've got our nav lights, which I made sure works. We've got our bilge pump, which apparently doesn't work. Actually, this is the first time it hasn't worked, and I do need that working. Moving on, we've got our live wells. So this is how you open and close your live wells. They're actually manual, so they don't really work great. They keep, like if I were to close this one before I got in the water, it would keep some water out, but slowly throughout the day, more and more water would get in the live well, and so I just leave them open. There's not really a reason not to have them open. So moving on, we've got our throttle back here. I think it's pretty cool, little retro style throttle. This boat was built in the 1980s, so it's pretty old, but it gets the job done, and I think it's pretty sweet looking. We've got our kill switch down here. I don't know what this was called, but it's like the neutral throttle. It gives you gas when you're in neutral. Easier to start it up because we've got this 2-stroke in the back. Got my key hooked up to my truck keys right there. And you can just ignore all this wiring down there because I'm gonna tuck that up out of the way pretty soon here. So I haven't mentioned the seat that I'm actually sitting on. This is actually the original seat that came with the boat, and it was looking pretty rough this last year or two, but I scrubbed her down. I just got it back from my from where I had it wintered, and I scrubbed down the seats, and the glue on the back holding down the upholstery was coming off, so I actually screwed that down, so it's never going to come off now. And yeah, they're looking pretty nice. And also I actually replaced the foam on the inside of this bottom seat. It now has memory foam inside of it because I just had that laying around, so I just had to use that, and it actually is working great so far. So to the passenger console, we've got our little compartment right here. Not much inside there, just we've got air horn, marker buoy, just all the legal stuff. We've got our title back there. There's actually a ton of space below this console, so I've got my tripod. That's what that blue case is. Got some water down there. Got my seat back there. That's just all my camera gear for the camera that I'm filming with right now. Moving on to the back, we've got compartments on the side. Pretty big compartment. This is what I use for my soft plastics. And for you guys that don't know about these Bass Mafia money bags, these are the deal. If you guys need a way to figure out to store your soft plastics, get yourself some money bags. These things are so nice. They're super durable. You can just throw your plastics in there and they're actually waterproof. They've got this little Ziploc-y thing right there that waterproofs them. And then you've got a zipper as well on top of that. And you can just throw them in your bag and throw them down there. As you can see, I've got a ton of extra base down there. I just didn't have a spot for them. I didn't feel like organizing yet, so I just threw them down there. And then we've also got our line case right there, which I have a ton more line at my house. I gotta put back in there. Actually don't have enough spots for my line in there. Next up, we've got our live wells. We've got one right there, one right there. Don't have latches on these right now since I just redid the carpet. But yeah, nothing special, just pretty good sized live well. Holds about 6-7 inches of water height wise, and I don't know, it's like 2 feet deep. And that one's the exact same. I'm not going to open it just because I don't have the latch on there. It's kind of hard to open. And then moving on to the other side, it's the exact same compartment, but I've got different stuff in there. I actually got my tools, my fire extinguisher, stay legal, we've got a marker, we've got a buoy, and then further back here we've got my bounce beam thing for calling fish. And then there's also a spare trolling motor prop down there. It's kind of bent up, but I just keep it in there just in case. And then we've also got a couple lights, running lights, in case we're going to be out here at night. And last, we've got right here, we've got a switch. This actually controls the power to the trolling motor. So if I were to turn that off, now there's no power to the trolling motor. Turn it on, and now we're good. Keep it on all, so all the batteries are powering it. Even though I don't think that matters, except if it's off, it won't work. Last up for compartments, we've got our battery compartment. where the magic happens. Looks pretty dirty down there, but we actually just redid how this is all wired up since I've got that new 36 volt trolling motor. Before I just had a 24 volt, so I had a charger right here, and then I had my 2 batteries right here for my trolling motor, whereas now I've got all these 3 batteries hooked up to each other for my 36 volt trolling motor. And then we've got our starting battery right here, cranking battery, and it actually have my sonar. This is my sonar wires hooked up to it, and these are the live well pumps hooked up to it as well, or the aerators. Last but not least, we have the brains of the whole operation. We have got a Suzuki 115. I believe this is a 1989. It's a 2-stroke, and I love this thing. Not gonna open her up right now, just because there's not really a reason, but I love having a 2-stroke. Especially this 2-stroke, this thing. It's super simple to work on. I've had a few things go wrong with it, and in a way, I've got kind of an engineering mindset, and things like fixing motors like this come sort of easy to me. That being said, I do not know half of what there is to know about a 2-stroke, and I can still fix this thing up if anything goes wrong. And the thing is, though, this thing, it starts up every single time. And I love it. It's just so satisfying having a motor you can rely on, and you know nothing's gonna go wrong with it. I actually just took it back from where I had it wintered to my house. I started her up, no problem. I ran a little bit today and had 0 problems, 0 issues. That's what I love about having a reliable motor. Never gotta worry about it. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like. Maybe comment down below what you guys thought about my boat. I got this boat for a super good deal, so I have no complaints with it whatsoever, and I love this thing. If you guys are into bass fishing, which if you're watching this video, I hope you are, I actually post a lot of bass fishing videos here in Michigan, and I'm gonna be doing a lot of fishing this spring, so I'm gonna hopefully be catching a lot of fish for you guys, and I'm gonna get it all on video and post it for you guys on this channel. So if you do want to see videos like that, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys later.